Alright everyone, so in this video I want to make the night change into the werewolf when night falls. So right now we've already got kind of halfway set up. So if I put the night in here, then we arranged it earlier so that if I pressed W, the werewolf would burst out of the knight's armor. So I'm pressing W. So we messed it up slightly earlier by adding a 2-second delay. Let's see if we can fix that now. So here in setup werewolf, there's a 2-second delay. And I wanted that 2-second delay because sometimes if I didn't have it when I was starting the werewolf for development purposes, he wouldn't appear because hides would get in the way from other code. Actually, just throw that away for now. So here's where the issue is, and if we fix this, we should be able to have everything we want. So when I receive change to werewolf, this is what should govern the change from the night to the werewolf. When I receive start werewolf, this is something that gets called by this, but it also gets called on its own. When we just put werewolf as the first entry into the enemies list, then the werewolf just shows up without anything having to change to him. And we needed that for development purposes. And that's where we need the 2-second delay. So how do we get the 2-second delay here without also getting it here? The problem is that change to werewolf is calling start werewolf, and start werewolf has the 2-second delay in setup werewolf, or it did until we took it out a moment ago. So how do we get one without the other? Well, here's, I think, the correct way to do it. We just swap these around. So now when we start it for development purposes, it's gonna call change to werewolf, and then change to werewolf will do all this stuff. And then we just put the wait in here. So the wait occurs for development, but it doesn't occur when we're actually playing the game. So let's see if the change is any better now. I'm gonna press W. Okay, that's better. The only thing is he appears in front of the armor, which I don't like. So let's see if we can fix that. Let's try that. Pressing W. Okay, that works. It does obscure some of the change animation, but it looks natural, and you can see the full change animation when he changes from the wretch, so it's not as if it's completely wasted. Okay, so now we need to make sure it happens when night falls, rather than just pressing W. So we need to go to the night and go to his cycle, which is probably going to be night move. So this is his cycle, and we need to check on every iteration whether or not night has fallen. So make a block, check for nightfall, put it here, and we will check it here. So here we go, if equals, what we need is time of night. So if time of night equals night, then change it to the werewolf. Broadcast, change to werewolf. Okay, let's try that out. Okay, that didn't quite work because the werewolf didn't go to where the night was. Okay, the only thing that I can think might be going wrong is here in night, when it checks for nightfall. It's basically doing the same thing it does when we press W, which is change to werewolf, and that works. So why doesn't it work here? There must be something going wrong in the way that we call it. So my instinct is, if time of night equals night, the problem here is that check for nightfall is getting called over and over and over again in night move until the armor is destroyed. And so what may be happening is it's calling this multiple times. And so the second, third, fourth calls are maybe disrupting the first call that would have taken the werewolf to where the night was, and then it's somehow messing up the position. I'm not quite sure how. So I just want to try the following. Instead of broadcast change to werewolf, change it to broadcast change to werewolf and wait. And that means that this will wait until the change to werewolf is complete before it will allow the rest of the loop to continue and before it gets checked again. So hopefully it won't interrupt itself. Let's try that out. Okay, here it comes. Perfect. Okay, let's leave it there, and I will see you in the next video.